Gracious greetings, class. Tonight we will be continuing with the situational analysis by proceeding with the 5 forces. These forces were identified by Michael Porter in 1979, which was obviously a few decades ago. These 5 forces established by Michael Porter are important and valuable because they define the essence of economics. And when these forces are united together in one analysis, they are able to define any industry. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, an industry is a distinct group of productive or profit-making enterprises. Effectively, therefore, a group of companies all working in equivalent fields is a type of industry. The industry is characterized by the nature of the businesses. These are the basic factors of what makes up the external facts and influences of your industry. As the SWOT and past analyses have informed us, the external factors are obviously able to contribute to the success or lack thereof of your business to efficiently function. We can control the internal factors. A reliable business model will ensure that our business can remain stable even though it is in a field of constantly changing external factors. So the 5 forces are the threat of entering companies into your industry, the power of the sellers in your industry, the threat of substitutes entering the market, the power of the buyers, and the pre-existing rivalry of your industry. So for the Phoenix Academy, we will analyze each of these forces in the industry of circus arts. So the Phoenix Academy does face the threat of new industry entries like any other business does. So how can the Phoenix Academy defend itself from these entries? In the book, Understanding Michael Porter, it mentions how companies use pricing to gain an advantage over their other competition because the lowest cost will ensure the buyer's support if finances are their priority when it comes to selecting. The Phoenix Academy will be able to use price to its advantage before it gets to the point that it is actually offering certifications and degrees. It must first establish itself as offering at least the knowledge of the general area which it has access to. It can begin charging financial quantity for quality once it's ready to uphold the quality. The quality verifies that the quantity is financially valid. Additionally, the Phoenix Academy can do everything in its power to hire the most knowledgeable and skilled teachers available within the country to stay above its competitors and develop that value. The power of sellers. As the Phoenix Academy does not sell a product and only instead exists to serve the purpose of selling knowledge, it must only face the demands of the potential teachers. However, since there are no studio schools in existence, this will be setting the bar for expectations of the teachers that have the skill. The Phoenix Academy will not be underpaying them by any means, so hopefully there won't be any backlash about salary payment. Just the fact that they will have a salary payment should be acceptable and motivating enough. The threat of substitutes. The Phoenix Academy will be the first of its kind, so I don't really foresee any substitutes because the offer is certifications and degrees. And the threat of business entries would be the threat of new business entries, and which is the threat itself. I don't really see a way to substitute a degree or a certification. Therefore, I really don't think that the Phoenix Academy in its prime, meaning that when it's at the point where it can offer certifications and degrees, it will not really have an issue with the threat of substitutes. The power of the buyers is also very important. The studio will most certainly face the challenge of capturing the attention and value from the students. This is due to the fact that students will have to decide whether or not they trust that the Phoenix Academy will offer the best education, or if another studio that does not offer a certification or a degree can offer more skill to them at a cheaper price. This will become difficult to hold since the academy will eventually have the prices of the university to train at its location, which is significantly higher than just training at a typical studio. And finally, the threat of pre-existing rivalry within the industry. The rivalry that we will initially face will be the superiority of other training studios. It very much depends on the quality of the circus community wherever I decide to start it. If it is placed somewhere without much circus skill, we'll do fine since the support of investors will guarantee that we can fly in guest teachers from more advanced areas like Tampa. Tampa Bay had a very thriving circus community with high skill level. Therefore, I really think that would be a good source of teachers we can fly in. So once those guest teachers can share their knowledge, we can perfect what they've shared until we have learned it well enough to continue teaching it and passing it on to other students. Since the guest teachers will be from more advanced areas, we can use their rivalry to our advantage. They could technically compete by being members of other studios, but I think if we give them a salary, they will want to select to work at the Phoenix Academy, which will pretty much get rid of any rivalry within the industry that is already pre-existing. So the conclusion of the 5 forces for the Phoenix Academy are the following. Since the industry of circus and aerial studios is rather saturated and there is already a lot of studios present, even though non-circus people may not be aware of the presence of circus or not, it's there. Therefore, there will indeed be challenges we must face. Our strategy will lie in the advantage that we will have the opportunity of offering certifications and degrees in circus arts. This will only be once we establish the quality that will be worth the quantity of finances. Essentially, we just need to be the best all around in order to conquer all of these industry threats.